to offer beginners were the words that had such an impact on me. I realized that whilst I was already merrily helping several thousands of runners with the work I was doing over at runningbygeorge.com, there were many thousands more on whose ears my work would never land. I had worked with beginner runners in the past as a personal trainer and coach, but I certainly didn't have anything in the way of a comprehensive guide to offer. I soon became obsessed with solving this shortfall. Having never written a book before, I'd built it up in my mind as being an enormous task that would take an age to complete, assuming I ever did get started. Consequently, I deliberated and procrastinated, putting off starting the job until January 2013. Over the course of the next 5 months, I obsessed over providing solutions to even the seemingly tiny challenges that beginner runners commonly face. The Facebook group was a goldmine of honest feedback on the program, which forms the foundation of this book, and gave me an insight into the minds of dozens of beginner runners. Without this ongoing feedback, I am sure that I would have produced something completely different, based instead on my perception of what was required, rather than the reality of beginner runners. So, to all those men and women who joined me on this journey of beginner's luck, I thank you, not only personally, but also on behalf of everybody who benefits from the information contained within this book. Chapter 1. What are the first things I need to do to get started? You've decided you're going to learn how to run, and you're sitting there feeling all motivated, perhaps slightly scared about the challenges that lie ahead. But what happens next? Or rather, what happens first? All of the information you need to get cracking is in this book, but in this chapter, I want to lay down the first steps you should take, the considerations you should make, and the foundations you should try to lay down in order to make this a success. After all, this isn't really about just starting to run. This is about creating a habit of running in such a way that you actually enjoy it and want to get out there for more. If you've been burnt by running in the past, you may already have a negative mindset about how hard it's going to be. But my aim is to change all that and show you that anybody, including you, can learn how to run for an hour and beyond. First things first. One thing I've learned that works over and over again is to set your desired outcomes and expectations right at the start. Not just in physical challenges like this one, but in anything that you do. In this case, have a careful think about what it is you hope to achieve with the program, why this is important to you, and how you will be able to identify when you've been successful. Of course, you could just skip this step and head out for Bobcat Week Run 1, but your chances of success would be greatly diminished. You most likely already have the answers to these questions inside of your head, but you just need to put them into some kind of logical sequence, perhaps get them down onto a piece of paper. If you're doing beginner's luck for weight loss, consider the possibility that running by itself won't be enough, and you may have to reassess your nutrition. You can't out-train a bad diet, and I've seen many beginners quit in the past because it wasn't working. Perhaps you just want to feel a bit fitter. Another excellent goal. I mean, who doesn't want to feel a bit fitter? But how will you know when you've got there? How much fitter do you want to be, and why is this particular level important to you? Often, beginners take up running because it presents a real but achievable challenge, especially when the end goal is some kind of race. But is this enough to keep you interested for 10 or more weeks? Have you considered what will happen when your challenge has been and gone? How will you feel when you are successful? And what would the consequences be if things weren't to go your way? Considering these thoughts right from the outset will set you up with a clear path and a simple method of assessing whether or not you are achieving what you want to. When to quit. It's also worth pointing out that there's no shame in quitting. In fact, it can often be the smart thing to do. This seems like a strange thing to say in the opening chapter of a book on how to run. But if you start running because you think it's going to give you something back, and then you hate every darn minute of it, pick another challenge. If you follow beginner's luck to the letter, you are far more likely to find the beginner's utopia of actually enjoying the process. However, if you give it your best shot, but you still don't